2. See Lord Zakæus Rurikkslægt the 6th. From Kraken Guard Askalon Denyunor 8th Consortium. Subject: Aquilus 9 Engagement Status Report. Encryption level: Omega grade, authorized recipients only. Date: 096-992 Millennium 41. Situation overview. By order of the Administratum and under the command of Captain Wilhelm Forgisto of the Imperial Navy, our Triton task detachment was deployed to Aquilus 9 to assess, disrupt, and neutralize persistent xenos radiant activity. Aquilus 9 remains in early-stage colonization, identified as a water-rich economic asset with projected transition into Paradise Class designation. Planetary infrastructure is limited and decentralized. The primary governing present consists of Adeptus Arbeits forces and naval auxiliaries who lack the operational capability to repel sustained xenos aggression. Despite 2 standard years of intermittent engagement, previous defensive efforts have failed to locate, predict, or decisively engage enemy forces. Sea Raiders elements have made measurable operational progress since planetfall, refining the intelligence picture and initiating target interdiction efforts. Enemy activity in threat assessment. Xenos identified. Dark Eldar elements. Estimated force composition: 8 to 12 Raider squads. 1 Draken command element. 1 Witch squad about 10 to 20, led by a succubus. 2 Helium squads, about 10 per squad. 2 Reaver jetpack squads, about 10 per squad. Engagement profile: raids focused on civilian abduction, infrastructure sabotage, and surgical elimination of leadership nodes. Operational pattern: raids conducted in irregular intervals over 2 standard years, lacking an identifiable logistical resupply cycle. Combat zone: defined area of operation spans approximately 5,000 to 6,000 standard terran nautical miles, with littoral and coastal regions as primary engagement zones. Intelligence gap and xenos anomaly. Drukhari raiding strategies typically favor transient opportunistic engagements, rapid extraction, and avoidance of prolonged contact. However, their extended presence in theater, maintaining operational tempo for 2 standard years, is an outlier in known Dark Eldar tactics. Despite limited force projection, they sustain pressure without demonstrated logistical dependency, suggesting 1. Concealed reinforcement assets. The force may be supported by an identified resupply mechanism or external reinforcement node. Or 2. An unaccounted strategic advantage. The enemy exhibits unusual confidence, indicative of a strategic asset yet unidentified. All prior efforts to identify terrestrial ingress and exfiltration routes have returned negative results. Enemy forces engage, extract, and vanish without a traceable footprint. No planetary voidcraft signatures, suborbital approach vectors, or long-range deployment indicators have been detected. This is a deviation from standard raiding operation tactics. The submerged stronghold hypotheses. With no viable surface-based entry points identified, reconnaissance priority has shifted to maritime zones. Key findings supporting the hypotheses. Drukhari appear and disappear without observable transport vectors. Planetary Auspex grid returns negative results for surface deployment signatures. Preliminary deep-sea Auspex and sonar sweeps indicate structural anomalies in trench networks. Engagement patterns cluster around oceanic regions where standard sensor coverage is limited. As 70% of Aquilus 9 is aquatic, a submerged webware access point or deep ocean staging area is now the leading hypothesis. If verified, this would explain the lack of observable transit vectors and a sustained raiding presence. Strategic imperatives. Establish persistent overwatch on suspected xenos ingress-egress points. Expand the deep scan reconnaissance of the oceanic trench networks. Eliminate or disrupt raiding parties to degrade enemy operational effectiveness. And stabilize Imperial colonial presence and prevent loss of economic assets. Tactical actions undertaken. Arrival and deployment. Sea Raider detachment deployed via Havulanda. Imperial Guard reinforcements landed for planetary stabilization. Kraken Guard Denyunor assumed operational oversight. Ongoing operations. Multispectral surveillance patrols established across high-priority oceanic regions. Covert reconnaissance teams deployed for submersible infiltration and target acquisition. Orbital reconnaissance assets integrated with ground-based sensor arrays. In local intelligence analysis conducted via Arbiter's archives and civilian witness debriefs. Sea Scout Neophytes Performance Assessment. Sea Scout Squad Composition. 3 Neophytes. Kerames Pelasgon, Zekronis Lukapal, Sharduna Kurashan. 7 Veteran Scouts. Performance Evaluation. Neophytes performed within expected operational parameters. All 3 followed orders with discipline and situational awareness. Demonstrated patience and adaptability characteristic of Abyssalian hunted traditions. Kurashan distinguished himself by successfully predicting future raid locations, leading to actionable intelligence extraction. Operational impact. New intelligence improved Arbiter's defensive posture, enabled forward positioning of rapid response teams, and supported strategic discussions for an ambush operation. Strategic Initiative, Counter-Raid Operation. A Potemkin operation is under preliminary discussion among select command personnel, suspecting internal intelligence leaks may be compromising anti-xenos efforts. Objective: bait a Drukhari raid into a control engagement zone. Execute a targeted strike for maximum attrition. Covertly deploy a tracker beacon on enemy craft for long-term reconnaissance. OPSEC priority. Compartmentalization enforced. Only vital command personnel briefed. Close monitoring of Arbiter's intelligence channels. Impure Navy assets prepared to provide overwatch. Inquisitorial oversight. An Inquisitor is scheduled to arrive within 48 standard Terran hours. Command interpretation. High probability of intelligence corruption or administrative malfeasance linked to xenos activity. Recommended actions and next phases. Deploy servitor-assisted deep-sea reconnaissance teams for extended Auspex mapping. Continue joint operations with the Imperial Navy to refine oceanic mapping and anomaly classification. Expand ground surveillance snaps across all suspected operational corridors. Finalize planning for Potemkin counter-raid and await further directives from incoming Inquisitor. Final considerations. Faith in the All-Father, faith in Russ will bring good tides. The xenos shall be cast into the abyss, and the Imperium's dominion over this world shall remain uncontested. Awaiting for the directive, Sea Lord. The hunt continues.